going to show the features of these Vendall versus Vend pods. First off, I want to show how you take off the top. I've got a key in already. All you do, the top and the back are keyed differently, just so you can have somebody service the machines and fill the candy, and then you can come back and service just the money if that's how you want to work it. But this would look like it would just pop right off, but all you do is you turn the key to where it's unlocked, open it slightly, and just push it forward. And then it comes off, and you can see this has two grooves on it, and those go into those two holes. And put it back on, all you do is have your key unlocked. You slide it back in, push it back together, pop it down, lock it, take the keys out. The back is somewhat similar. You'll have another key for it. Just unlock it, pull it out slightly, and pull it down. The back comes off completely. This is where the quarters will be. I haven't tried it, but you could probably take some kind of small plastic box and put in here just to make it easier to take the money out. The other part is this round piece right here just pops off. You pull it out. This is where you set your portion size for the wheel. It has a cap on the back that you pop off, and you have the marks on the side that show portion size, so you can set it up how you want for whatever candy you're given. Slides up and down. The cap that I just took off just holds it in place. So you set it. You can see that the piece gets larger or smaller depending on how big you want it. So set it to the setting you want. Put the cap back on. You have the piece together. You can see the end is the square that goes into, don't know how well it will show, but inside of there is the back of the coin mechanism. And there's a square there on the back of the handle that you turn. So you turn this handle. This is on the back of it. This rotates, gives out the candy in the portion that you set, and then turns back and sits in the back. Now I'm going to show how you take the front off in case you need to paint it or change the flap. I've got the back off using the screw flashlight just so I can show you where the screws are. You see there's up in the top there's one screw. Bottom is, that's the second screw. And then, kind of hard to see, the third screw up. If you're looking at the canister, it'll be up in the top right. You take those three screws out, and that will release the front. Now I have the canister with the screws out of the back. The front will swing out this way, and then you just pull it to the side. You can see there are grooves here that fit into this channel here on the pod. Then you have the flap cover. If you look at the back, you can see you have the flap cover that just pulls out of the coin mechanism. You have a small spring there that if you have it, you can just put the top of the spring back into here if you need to, or when you're replacing the chute flap, just put it back into the parts of the coin mechanism, hold it together, put it back into the grooves in the front, pops back together. You don't do that, but you just put the screws in the back like it was, pop it back in place, put the screws back in. Maintenance tips. First off, this is the back of the bottom cover. You can see I'm turning it with the key. If for some reason it ever starts where the key is just freely turning, there's a nut right on the back of the lock that probably needs to be tightened down. If you're going to paint one of these machines, there's a hex nut around the entire threaded part of the lock. All you do is you undo that lock, you pull the hex nut off, the lock pops out, and then you just have the plastic piece that you can paint. And then you put once it dries, you just slide the lock back in, put the nut back on it. Same thing goes for the bottom piece. Just pull off the nut, then pop the screw out or pop the lock out, paint it. Once it's dry, put the lock back in. With the coin mechanism, what you'll want to do, I just showed how you pull the chute flap off. Take the chute flap off, pull this little spring off, then you can paint it and then put it back the way I just showed you. What's going to show if you want to paint on the coin mechanism is the handle obviously is going to show. This front plate will show, and this small portion of the back is also going to show if you want to paint that part. I usually don't paint that part because you're going to be putting quarters into this and it's just going to erode the paint. So it's brown. It's not a pleasant color, but I mean, you can paint it if you want. All you do to take this apart is there's one screw in the back. You just pull that screw out. There's a back piece that pulls off, shows the back of the handle. You just pull the handle out, and what will show is anything to the top of this part. So paint that part, paint the front. Also, you can just pull the back off. This is the part I was just showing you. This is where the quarter will drop in. This is the front where the quarter will drop in. So you take this piece off and paint this piece and paint the handle any color that you would like, and then you can put it back together. The other part of this is the back of the coin mechanism. You can pull this piece out. This small piece right here is actually what keeps it from turning until a quarter is put in. So if I put it back together, someone puts a quarter in, they try to turn it, it won't turn because this isn't lifted up. So all you do, once you paint it, put this back together, snap this back into place, put the back on. You want this arm to be in the bottom left corner. Put the handle back through. Take the piece that you took off. You want the little ridge to be on top. Then just put the screw back in. Pop the chute flap back on, and then put it back into the canister like we did before.